All right, so good morning, Jim.
Morning, Kevin.
Lovely to see you.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to a little chat. Lovely.
Thanks for taking the time. Actually, I'm going to change the view a little bit. We're going to go with a gallery view, so we're side by side. That'll look better for the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, so this is being recorded. We may edit this. This is a note to people who are watching if they see this part. So this may change slightly, but
Nothing to hide.
basically
Nothing's a problem.
we're going we're going live otherwise. Okay, so the reason we're here together this morning, and I'm very pleased to have Jim Uglow here to make some very direct, candid comments about something that happened several weeks ago. Actually, there was a podcast, kind of an association, I guess, a loose association of some international Tai Chi teachers, led by a chap who's not necessary for me to mention his name per se, but anyway, they invited a guest. The guest has developed, let's say, maybe the word is notoriety. I wouldn't say fame per se, but some notoriety and some of the comments he's made over a relatively, well, over a period of time, let's say over a couple of years since I sort of noticed. And he is ascribing describing a closer relationship with the family than he deserves. And it's probably for the usual reason, to develop some, following a group and make some money. And I gather from unconfirmed reports suggest that he charges quite a lot, like 25 grand or something to get into his program.
US, that's what I was told. Yeah.
But that's hearsay, so I don't know. That may or may not be true, but
It's 25,000. Someone told me, someone who had direct contact.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. So he has said some things in particular. Mostly, I think our approach, Jim's recommendation to us that I think most of us follow is, I mean, you can't get involved in all these conversations. There's so many, right? Thousands and thousands of these conversations, and it's like, these, what do you call them? Laptop warriors or keyboard warriors?
Keyboard warriors, I think. Yeah.
And it's just a waste of time. But occasionally, someone's head rises up from the parapet and says something that just needs to be responded to and clarified. And so that's what we want to do this morning. Describing this sort of close relationship with the family, and then from there going with some other thoughts. So we won't mention his name because I don't think he needs any more attention. But Jim may refer to him from time to time. He may want to tell a little bit more of the story, but I think we really want to comment mostly on some of the statements that he was making during that call and just refute those statements as it's appropriate. Yeah. Okay. So with that introduction, Jim, would you like to say anything else before I start kind of go down the list here?
Not really. I've no idea. I didn't read all of the synopsis thing, and I saw some of the words, but I haven't got time for that, really.
Yeah, well, that's the other part that's important to I gave Jim the link to the conversation, but I was hoping that he wouldn't spend time. It was about a 90-minute plus conversation. And he's a busy guy. So I have, however, brought kind of the key points from the transcript of the conversation to his attention. So first, I'll just read this to you, this note, that this person has a supposed relationship with Yeung Chung, the family, or had, and Mary in particular, our Sifu, otherwise known as Yeung Ma Lee, Sifu. He referred to as abrupt break with the family as related to something. I don't even want to use the word because it's really offensive. Jim's looking at it now, or he's seen it. Suggested that Yeung Chung gave him the complete system, especially as it relates to push hands and sort of the power, how to get the power the family had, was reputed for. He said that Mary was the inheritor of the family's knowledge, and which was
three sisters.
Right.
All three sisters.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All three sisters have the full system, as far as I'm concerned. There was an incident in the family which pushed Yeung Xiaojung to teach the daughters all the secrets. There's an event. I'm not saying anything, but his mind changed. His mind had a drastic change, and then he started teaching all the secrets, including the qigong, which no one had ever had before, and I certainly didn't. The disciples didn't get it. Sorry to hear that. If you're a disciple of any of those, if you're a disciple of the disciples, I'm sorry, but they did not get it. Um, it's a very big story. Anyway, this was a date which I'm not giving, when Yang Xiaojung suddenly had this moment in life with the kids, with his daughters, and he decided from that moment to teach them Tai Chi, Kung Fu from the Yang family, not Tai Chi Chuan anymore. So she refers to it as the family Kung Fu, not Tai Chi. Tai Chi is available to many, many people, which is great. I did that for 22 years before I met the boss, Young Mali. And within 30 minutes, it was clear that she had, if not everything at the time, she had a whole grasp of the system. And in the last 27 years, more, no, 29, January, you work out, January 97 anyway, was my life changed. So I'm in the house and slowly, she introduced me to this system that I'd never ever seen or heard before. Remember, the family took a PR decision in the when Yang Qingpo went around China to save the country in his own way to help get the health back to the country. After seeing a sign in the Shanghai park saying no dogs or Chinese, and then referring to sick man of so that got to him. This is very important to realise. He then started to teach the public side of the Yang family, which has now evolved into the Yang style. We, as you know, Kevin, you've met the boss. She doesn't do Yang style. She does Yang family Kung Fu. It's a very specific mindset and a very specific set of training, which, as you know, uh, and all three daughters got this, and they confer regularly, so nothing is forgotten between them. They've kept the original apartment where they learned this, so the energy in the walls, if you believe all that, and the atmosphere and the memory banks in each part of the decoration as a memory system. You know, the palace they call it. Some people they kept that on. I've been there to train. As a Westerner, it's a little bit spooky, but then maybe this is my English left brain. I don't know, but something's going on. Anyway, so that's I'd like to just put that down as the opening as the Yang family themselves.
Mm,
Over
mm.
to you.
That's great. Perfect. Fantastic. And I think, and I might have missed a word or two in there, but the other two sisters don't teach.
No, no, they saw what people do when they want something from their father, and it's affected them for their whole life. How people wanted gimme, and they saw that process and don't want to be part of it. So they've now appointed Young Molly as the spokesperson, should we say that, spokeslady for the family itself, with full backing of the two sisters.
Um, this is a little out of order versus our questions, but this was a conversation that happened around the event that I referred to earlier, the conversation,
Mhm.
and this
Yeah.
question was around lineage, and it seems like based on what you've said to me and to us that it's important, but it's also not important, or it's not. Can you talk more about the lineage, why that's important in training, or
Well, remember, Chinese culture only goes to the male. You don't give anything to the female. So for Yeung Xiaojung to wake up and teach three females, who then said, "Get this out to the West." So in my mind, that's a double whammy: a female to a foreigner. Can you see how it works? But don't forget, she teaches the important internal aspects in Cantonese. I'm aware of Cantonese to a very basic level, and the Kung Fu aspect I'm aware of. And she helps me greatly in the translations of these secrets in Cantonese.
great?
They were translated by her into Cantonese, her mother tongue, from her father's mother tongue, which would have been Mandarin. So there's been no, as far as I'm concerned, from Yang Xiaojung to Young Mali to us, there's been no break. This essence is pure because they've took time, great amount of time and patience to make sure that each translation is true and carries the real emotion of what's being taught. Yeah. So that went to the three ladies, and it was, if you read his red book, it says I was very demanding with my daughters in particular. So there's a little clue there. There are stories which I won't go into, they're private. I know the three sisters very well, and they're lovely ladies, and I'm privy to not stories because they're facts, events that have factual base from the word of the mouth from the person involved. So that's what I'm going to go into now. I have no interest in sharing it. You are privy to it, Kevin, so this is not a problem. There's a small group of people that go to the Hong Kong to train, and you can confirm we have an absolutely lovely time. Only your classes are much easier than mine. I get ripped a new one occasionally, mostly every lesson. But I'm there for that, and I'm not there to be told I'm only good. I'm told what I've done wrong to get it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my bit.
I remember the one comment that she made to me when we were in London. I think it was the second trip, perhaps, and she said, "You need to work harder."
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So, thank you. That's great elaboration, further elaboration. Thank you very much. Um, okay, push hands. Let's see. Do I want to say anything else here? No.
Oceans, she teaches in Cantonese. There's several descriptions in Cantonese. One I will give you, not the others, is called Fun Done. So those that know Cantonese, pardon my dialectual rubbish because I'm English. Fun Done is a method in the mind of pushing when you have an A and a B partner. A and B, well, A especially has fun done in his mind, in his or her mind. Fun done is a term which Cantonese speakers will know apart from my accent. There's others, depends on your level of internal. To date, I've experienced what I can handle from young Marley. First set of pushing, the impact was not expected, and I had a slight nose. Just before I bled, I said, "We've got to stop now because now one more impact, I'm going to have a nosebleed, and I don't want to bleed over your floor." I know my nose very well, having had it broken a few times, and so I know that little buzzing when he's about to go, so I can stop it. So that's my first ever pushing session. It was the same week where she first mentioned chi. So if the Yang family don't mention chi, they're not going to teach it. Simple as that. If you've never heard about it, it's because they're not going to teach you. I didn't hear for 2 years. I did not hear that word for 2 years. In any case, it's chi is a modern construct. It's actually hey, hey gong, shum hey, all this sort of stuff. Sync the chi. Yeah. So the word is hey. You can write it how you say it. Hayheih.
Yes.
Who cares?
And the man whose name will not be mentioned was suggesting that the chi was an old and abandoned concept, and that in terms of the what he referred to the imperial
Yeah.
temple
Yeah.
system,
Yeah.
that it wasn't a factor, and it's not what we
We
should.
can't say this was several generations ago. We can't say what on earth happened. All we know is from the young Mully's actual oral teaching, we do know. We know factually what has been passed. We even she said, "I've no idea what my grandfather's form looked like. No idea what it looked like, but you do know what we did inside. We can confirm what he did inside, which is the internal principles."
And certainly, when you invited me to come with you on one of these training trips, that's really where we focused most of our time and for the first couple of years on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Hegel.
Heigong. It's not qigong. It's heigong. This is the word qi and hei, same meaning, but they have a different impact on the mind. Hei, heigong. Yeah.
So the other comment that the man whose name shall not be mentioned said that uh, he spent a fair amount of time talking about. Oh, sorry, that's me. My notes. The original way the speaker advocates involves being straight on with the body and being lined up, triangulating and pushing with all of your might. Apparently, that was the.
Okay, so my experience, I learned that method from Chu Hong, the third disciple. When I got to Jin Soon and Mr. Yip and Young Ma Li, different angles. You don't face this way to fight. You face this way to fight. You face this way to fight. For training, this is fine. It is one method.
And pushing with all of your might
I don't
is
know what that means. I don't know what it means.
I,
So we're talking about framing the body to receive the internal energy, to compress the two bodies together. So like imagine you're pressing hydraulic fluid together. The more you press, the more power it is. So when two people meet, you have to have an organized A and B player. You can't have two A's or two B's. Nothing will happen. Two B's mean you just push without any result. So to do fun done properly, you need a clear A and B. A would usually be the senior who has more experience, and B uh, gains the most actually out of a push internally. What you see is A pushing B into a wall. What you actually don't realise, what I didn't realise, is playing B, you actually can actually increase your chi volume by being B due to the nature of the contact. Pushing with all your might is an English word. Doesn't matter. Just call it what you want. It's what you see. But having experienced this from the three disciples plus Yeung Mali, it's pushing with all your might. It's up to you. But as long as you are relaxed, Fong Song leads to
well.
Tong. If no Fong Song, you're not going to get Tong. Then your journey to the foot is broken. Then it's not Tai Chi.
So that's there's so much in what you just said there, and some people will it'll go past them, I guess. Then that's fine. But the issue with where some people will take that push with all your might is that it becomes very physical. You said
Yeah.
functional.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
It's
key.
okay.
But also for health, I would think for some they'd have to be very careful if they've got high blood pressure. Probably not a good idea, right?
Know yourself. Yeung Jung said, know yourself. That's the first statement. When you start learning the internal, you need to know yourself because the impact on the energy could be positive or negative. The Yang family only deal with positive, as you know. There's no negative at all. And she said, when I was learning Qigong for the first time, by the way, not until 2004, there's a reason for that. John Conroy and Joe Balthazar, my two Tai Chi brothers, experienced this first couple of lessons, and it was a terrible shock to our system because this is actual the Heigong of the Young family, which they never spoke about. When Young Chin Poo decided to go to around the country, he took out all this internal principle externally and kept it inside him. So you never know. So this internal aspect is a very long process, and it's well you've experienced it, so you know, and you can't really describe it unless you've experienced it. So what people see is irrelevant. As the boss says, the outward experience of Tai Chi or the outward appearance doesn't mean everything. The outward appearance. The Yang family are known for internal power. Internal is like a combustion engine. You see a car running, you cannot see all the pistons, all the electricity, all the petrol, all the gas. Can't see that. Therefore, it's called internal combustion. The Yangs knew that already without having an engine.
Perfect. Perfect. Uh, this you've already addressed language and culture to a great extent. I just wanted to add, if I might, that because the speaker, this person, remarked that if a student doesn't speak Chinese, they don't truly know the culture. The transmission of the art becomes a challenge. So I just want to say, when I was in the room with you and Mali and others, sometimes you would go off. She would be teaching us, showing us something, and then you would occasionally have a conversation. She had kind of a sidebar with you, and there was
Yeah,
a mixture of Cantonese
yeah,
and English.
yeah,
You would throw back in Cantonese or whatever to have that conversation.
yeah. To make sure there's no mistake and no confusion.
So there's clearly enough knowledge on your side to be able to take in the information that she's
I
trying.
have limited knowledge on the Cantonese side, but I have the Kung Fu aspect because I have a mentor who you met, lovely guy called Raymond Lau, who mentored me in the culture and the meaning of the language, not just the word for word like Google Translate,
Right, right.
but real meaning. How you can translate a word like hey,
Yes,
word association. You get
yes,
to weather. the
Yes.
weather. So from hey, there's a word association which doesn't match a Western mind, but association, I won't give too much away, but that's the Qigong. So air, ether,
Yeah.
there's many scientists talking about this.
Yes.
Uh, so the word association can end up with smell and weather. How can you get the word Chinese word hey, translate it into English and end up with smell and weather? But you can in Chinese culture. So
Mm.
knowing the words isn't enough. That's why my Cantonese is extremely limited. I'm very dumb at Cantonese, but I know which words are
Right.
catalysts to my ears.
Right.
Like, for example, when you learn Qigong, you must learn Taigong. If you
Mm.
don't have Taigong, you're going to have problems with your health.
Mm.
Taigong is a very important. The translation is quite interesting as well, which I'm not giving.
Mm.
It's for us. We spend a lot of time and effort going to Hong Kong and training, so it's not easily shared.
Mm. Mm.
And we're happy in our world.
We are happy, that's for sure.
Very, more than happy in my world. Wake up every day blessed, having this
Blessed,
marvelous lady.
blessed and blissed.
Blessed in bliss.
um, he made some comments about corrections, and he referred to
Five.
being 5 sets of corrections,
Yeah.
and apparently you're finished.
If he's referring to what I think I'm hearing, that's just five. There's not. Young Marley teaches, as you know, and as I've passed on to you, many more than five.
Clearly over 100 or something. I don't know, whatever. But
No, not that many. But one leads to two, two leads to three, three leads to four,
yes.
five leads to six, six leads to seven. You can't learn three before one and two. You can't learn four before. So it's a very clever system because you can't hurt yourself this way.
Mm.
Can't damage yourself. I'm 72 this year. I feel great. I look terrible, but I don't care. Inside, I feel fabulous.
I would have said 51,
Thank
40,
you. Thank you.
somewhere.
Checks in the post.
um,
Because in the
training folks.
72 years, I've only used 39 of them. I've got loads left.
Oh, I love it. I
I
love
haven't
it.
used them all up. So I've still got, I'm in credit.
Certainly, that's my prayer. I hope I couldn't
That's my life.
navigating this world without you. Okay, so number 5, training focus and power development. Hard power is the word he said, phrase he said a number of times. The imperial
Hard power, Gongeng. Hard power is Gongeng. You have Yao Geng, Bing Geng. Remember, there's a good book written by T.T. Liang's student, Alvin Olsen. Don't know them, but the book is very close. It says the 37 intrinsic energies of Tai Chi. Mary Yang has them all. You have to go through all these. I'm not saying I've done them all. I don't know. I can't say for sure. You have to learn them through the form. Now, the form I learned before Mary Yang wouldn't suffice to teach you the Geng. 37 Gengs. Everyone heard about this Fa Jing business. Fa Jing in Cantonese means something else. Fat Geng in Cantonese is issue of power. But the one method is to let go, not issue. So therefore, you see the difference? You can't push an arrow, you fire an arrow. That's one way of pushing. There is also pushing. You can have gong geng, yao geng, bing geng, jiao geng. There's lots of gengs. Iron shirt is a geng. You heard about the iron shirt? That's a geng. It's got a Chinese name. So I can't see them all, but that book I found interesting because there's nothing ever written closer. So if you've got 37 gangs, which we know exists in the Red Book, the Young Marley's Red Book, she wrote the book, by the way. She got given the manuscript and she wrote the book. Every letter, every full stop, every comma is hers. So we have the author to hand. What does that mean? For example, I'll give you one example. It says encircle from above. Encircle from above. It doesn't really give you the skill. It gives you the movement, but not the skill. If you knew the preceding action, as you encircle from above, Mary Yang's words, it creates a particular geng. So to learn geng, you can't stand there in a corner doing qigong to get the gengs. You have to practice them through the martial form, which is why it exists, apart from the health aspect. So you're doing a rolling action and you're creating an energy. Usain Bolt, he can great power from the start. All these historical figures have this. We just call it Tai Chi. Others call it racing or Olympics. Doesn't matter what you call it. The intrinsic energy is human being energy. For my concern is I've been with four very important people, three disciples and Yeung Ma Lee. I never met Yeung Xiaojung. John Conroy did, and there's a lot of people in that group that were there, so we know everything that happened blow by blow in that room.
If I might say, Jim's referring to a part of that conversation with the man whose name shall not be mentioned, who where he says he was in the room with Yoon Suk Chung.
At all times, there was a witnesses. All times, John Conroy was there for every single second of which wasn't a huge amount allegedly, but Jin Soon took a delegation of students, selected presumably, and then their characters can come out during this process. But they didn't receive, as far as John told me, didn't receive any direct knowledge. Jin Soon was training, and the guys were watching. We can always ask John Conroy any more details. I don't know, but I wasn't there, and I'm just happy that one of us has met Yeung Xiaojung, which is important.
Great, perfect. Okay. So under this topic of, and there's one or two, I think there's one other category of statements that were made that we can talk about. But this under training, focus, and power development, hard power. You gave the Cantonese version of that. There are, or you gave the Cantonese, or did you just say that? So he refers to static power training, chi power pressing. The key difference lies in power pressing. You already talked a lot about that. Let's see, hard power. Practitioners grip fully with their hands, lock in, and push with all their might against a part with a deep root and non-collapsing structure. The training is essential for strengthening okay, this is a new thought, perhaps. This training is essential for strengthening the joints to withstand the impact of a person's full body weight.
Well, she uses the term open the joints, open the seven stars of the body. The main joints are called seven stars, chatsing in Chinese. And we learn to open them. I'm not sure about what was the word was used.
He said for strengthening the
strengthen. Well, the joints are strengthened by the tendons around, which is in the softening exercises in the form itself. But as far as I know, we don't use the word strengthen. We use the word to open. I can now do the Qigong, and in my imagination, which is now real to me, I can feel air passing through the joints. It's a wonderful feeling. Beautiful breeze, a lovely summer's breeze passing through my seven joints. It's magnificent. So the chi can flow. I've never heard the boss use the word strengthen the joints.
I suppose that might be a byproduct, but not what your intention is per se. You don't want to focus on that, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, no, I only do. I'm limited, Kevin. Lo Wangu. Lo Wangu means old square mind. That's me. I'm a Lo Wangu student. Some people are innovative. I am not. I don't trust myself to innovate what I've been taught. I don't think I've got that capability or that intelligence. I learn a particular way and I never change it. As you know, I'm very particular with the words I use. They're translated from the original Chinese, from her dad to her to us. I actually use the word us because I don't say me, because us are involved. There's a group of people involved. Thank God, I've been there the longest, January 97, when my life was turned upside down. There's no money in my pockets when I went upside down, but I went upside down and then I've just been recovering ever since. Every day's been a blessing.
Fantastic. Okay. I will only add the extra thought that when the times that I've pushed hands with you, I have no words. I mean,
it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's very fun. Very fun. But the strength is
that's the Chinese word. Fun done is part of the training of pushing. Fun done. Funny that. Doesn't mean the same thing, but it's still the same word.
Love it.
Coincidentally.
And you said you had a square mind, so. Okay. Need for immediate command. Let's see, what does that mean? I'm reading Yang Lu Chan, sorry.
Yeah, Yang Lu Sim in Cantonese, yeah.
And Dong Hai Chuan.
Aqua Finder, yeah, who is a eunuch.
Were invited to the imperial palace to train the Imperial Guard. They did not have years to establish a foundation, requiring a system that could train people to get immediate effect, is the quote, get immediate effect. The system was designed to teach professional martial artists and fighters.
What, the Royal Guard, you mean? Is that what it meant?
The system, the Yeung family system, was
Yeah. I
designed.
mean, don't forget they were from the Qing, and Yeung Sin was the Han, so there's not the same tribe. The tribe means GKyan in Chinese, and they weren't the same GKyan. So uh, who knows what he did, what he taught? We weren't there. We don't know. There's many stories which we'll never ever know the true story. I only listen to what young Miley tells me that came from her father.
Okay.
And her father would have spoken to all the family, his uncle and his father and whoever was around when he was his uncle being young Xiao who was the enigma, really. Xiao Hu was the enigma. Completely different body language to his younger brother, Yang Qingpo. So we don't know too much, but we know certain things about this man.
They were on reputation. Well, I guess from Mali Sifu, were they her? Were they? I mean, certainly her father was with the Imperial Guard. Yes, at one time,
Her father,
her grandfather.
grandfather was Yang Qingpo, Yang
Yeah.
Qingfu.
So
No,
she spent some time. He spent some time. Yes. No.
I don't know. I've never heard that. Not from the
Okay.
Imperial Guard because they weren't. Were they there then? I don't know. I don't know. Yang Lucin was he couldn't escape the royal decree, so he had to go and teach. But these guys are so clever,
Okay.
so clever.
Okay.
Um, so one thing is you can teach what you can hide. That's a very important saying. So I'm able to teach anything that I can hide from her.
Okay.
That's the criteria for teaching. So if you've learned something and you new at it, meaning only 2 years old or 5 years old, not a lot,
Okay.
you can't hide it because you're too excited with it. When you can hide that particular skill, that layer, you can teach it. That's the rules of Yang family. So Yang Lucin, who's, as far as we know, the invincible and the unbeatable, whatever they call him, would have been had anything he wanted, could probably hide everything he wanted. So the Imperial Guard is unlikely he would have given them the secrets
Right.
over his kids. Unlikely. And he
Right.
has a couple of good disciples as well, who are also historical figures, but they're in books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Long power and short power makes this reference. This training method develops long power, propelling someone far, and then short power or inch power, which can pierce through the opponent. Any comments?
I only ever heard of short power. I've never heard of long power from young Marley.
Okay. Uh, and short power, would you confirm that's basically as a quick
Depends
definition?
what you call it. It's one of the 37 gangs. Yeah. To call it short, it's just a basic description. There's no long as far as I know, because you don't have a long space. You always have an impact point because you need to activate a particular acupoint in your back, which is the only point that the Yangs consider as a healing. It's a particular point area where you're trying to impact. So B, when he learns to play B properly, is told how to receive the impact onto a brick wall, or in my case, as you know, I've got my 2-ton tree in my school,
Yes.
which doesn't yield. So you can't have long power as such, except if you're pushing through the chi in your mind. But then you have to push to the level of B, who presumably A would have taught in the first place. So it's a known entity. So A knows B's skill level. Look, Yeung Miley could not push me into her wall without me knowing that particular technique, because that's called bullying. So if I knew level one, level two, each time I got a new level to some, well, she was not angry with me at that. So we'll say I'm almost there, that she would use that on me to confirm what that feels like. So you learn the first form and she pushes me. Then you learn the second form, whatever word you want to call it, corrections or whatever, but they're layers. And then you get the second one. And the third layer caught me out because I did lose my breath. It was just a shock. So I thought, okay. How many layers? She said, you don't want to know. That's her words. Don't wanna know. So she's protecting my left English brain from the shock of finding out, like you're looking at Mount Everest.
Right, right,
Is it K2 where you look up and
right. That's
so
a good
K2 is
analogy.
my daily training method. I'm looking up K2 every single day,
Right,
see how far I can go before I get tired. And
right,
you don't look down.
right.
Don't look. That's and other people, she said, I can quote young Molly, and other people go to the top by helicopter, which means they have no concept of the journey itself to the gangs, to the training, because you got there by helicopter. Yes, you're at the top. You think, well, it's your top.
Mm,
Another saying, ting seung ting in Chinese. Ting seung ting means sky is above sky. You see your sky, someone's above that.
mm, mm,
Yeah, you've got White Earp and all these guys to prove that. All these gunslingers, sky above sky. There's someone who's going to come out on top.
right,
But
right.
the ones that don't come out on top, in this particular case, are dead. So there's no second place really. It's a terrible price to pay to try and be the top. I prefer to do one step at a time, not look up. I don't want to look up too much because my neck aches. I'm not looking down. I'm looking where I am, and I go and I refer to my notes. The lockdown was fabulous because I could look at my notes and try and catch up with myself. Otherwise, as you know, it's pounding information into you from the boss,
Mm,
incessant. When does it all end? She actually said when it ends, where we discuss Tai Chi more than we train. That's the only reference point.
mm,
So
mm.
while I'm being taught, I haven't got it. I haven't finished. If I stop being taught and we discuss Tai Chi, I may be reaching a zenith, but I haven't seen that yet.
Incredible.
I'm enjoying the journey so much, Kevin. It's just incredible. You've been on it, so you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. My version's been wonderful. Thank you very much. Um,
We share.
so let's see, a reference to modern practice, still under the power topic. Modern practice often focuses on yielding alone, which the source suggests will never ever develop the ability to handle or take on the full weight of another person. Is focus on that. Furthermore, the speaker notes that the power, the pressing method, is really taught seriously and should be at the core of your Tai Chi practice. The speaker also differentiates the original static push from methods like the one used by Jim Uglow,
Oh, it's me.
where practitioners are coming from the side, which you already talked about, as opposed to
Side from the
the
side.
original way of being straight out with the body and line up. This is his word, of course, lined up, triangulating.
Right. Well, Chu King Hong, as I explained before, is a third disciple. He does face on. Young uh, Chu Jin Soon does not. Mr. Yip does not, and Yeung Miley does not. So what's that tell you? It's my experience, and they're all positive. Everything is positive. And by the way, Chu King Hong, the third disciple, can actually use Tai Chi to a very high level in combat, absolutely without question. So that's not up for negotiation. His method. So I was sat down, and when I started to learn the fundan, we'll call it that. For there's other words that apply to the pushing. Depends on who you are, who A and who B is, and who's the interaction. It's not only fundan. It can be other methods, all named, specifically named. So I sat down, and James, the husband, is so good in helping me translate because he's got lots of patience. The boss is busy, of course, and he can even write the Chinese down, Chinese character down. You might have seen him when he walks past sometimes in your training. He might write a word down like I'm not going to say, but some beautiful words that appear in English and then into Cantonese, and then the writing, which I have someone who can a scribe who can translate that old script
Mm,
without punctuation, not the modern script,
mm,
simplified version.
cool,
Yeah,
superb. I'm going to take a quick pause now. Let's see.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. We've been going for about not quite an hour. But I want to check in with you to see if you want to take a break. You want to call it. There's a few more talk.
No, let's do it because I'm on a meter today, Kevin. I've got a bit of a busy day. So I like talking to you a lot, but not in these circumstances.
Like,
Sort
send
of,
you a lot, but not that much. No.
but no, it's the reason we're together is not positive for me. It's to address things, whatever you
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
happy to do because it's just what I'm teaching you, telling you is factual, factual. What would you call it? Factual episodes, or whatever you want to call it. So let's forge ahead.
Okay, all right. It shouldn't take too much longer, actually,
Right.
um, unless you want to carry on. So let's see. Staying power. We already talked about that. Our power, non-collapsing, need for immediate command. But did we already talk about that? Get to immediate effect. Yeah. Long power. Okay, we talked about that. Modern practice. Modern practice. Okay, still more about body weight.
I don't know it. I don't know. I've done modern practice before the original, so I learned the modern before the original.
Ah, here it is. Sorry, yeah, sorry. Back knee and forward in the forward
Ha!
stance.
Yeah.
According to begin. So, okay, to the where we left off. Back knee and forward stance. Straight, bent. Does it matter? The
Okay.
different.
So, a quick story. When I first went to the boss, because I had all this other Tai Chi in my brain, and it was disturbing my progress allegedly. So she said, "Yes. So you're allowed one question, your question, a lesson." One of my questions was, "Is the back knee straight or bent?" She went, "Okay, is that your question? You only get one every day." I said, "Yeah, please." When she says one question a day, which means not pertinent to my program, can you see? But I have all these questions from my previous training eaten away. So she realized this is a very clever person. If I answer these questions, then we got get me back. So when I started to fade and my mind wandered to my own questions, which are not allowed because they're not progressive, I had one. So one of my questions, among every day, by the way, is about they straight or bent. She went, "That's it? That's your only question?" I said, "Yeah, that's it. Depends which form you're doing." So it's totally irrelevant. The angle of the back toe is totally relevant. The knee is totally not relevant in the Yang family because the toe affects the compass of the Dantian. That's it. So back leg is neither here nor there because one of the secrets of the Yang family, which I will tell you, there are no what's the word? No instructions for the knee. That's it. No instructions. So you see, Yang Chung Po, her granddad, who's very clever, he put some pictures out of Tung Yin Kit and Chen Wei Ming, both known disciples, one back leg bent, one back leg straight. This is designed by purpose of so people could talk about it. Which form are you doing? Simple as that. The back toe is relevant. That's why some of the pictures of her grandfather with those first set of pictures of the form, he didn't give anything away, and he's noted by somebody in, I believe, in California. Some Tai Chi people looked at his single whip posture and said his back toe is 80 degrees, and explained why. I downloaded that and showed it to her, and she looked. I've got to read it. I said, "You haven't got to read it. It's all about your father's back toe." She went, "Okay, next." It's irrelevant. So he's being photographed, and he's certainly not going to give any secrets away because the back toe then will pass through as a spiral to the dantian. That's it. I'm not saying anything else. But of course, he has to go to the foot first, which is against life. Life is up, kung fu is down. Hey chum, hey chum, hey chum
So,
dantian. But which is she doesn't use that word hey chum. She's got a private set of words for that, which you know.
so this possibly is a good time to talk about the that direction down. And he was the speaker was quite concerned about people practicing the chest hollowing, and that it would be bad for your health to do that on a long-term basis. That sinking the chi is too much. This idea is too much to sink the chi, not good for health. And
If you
he
don't know
said,
qigong, it could be physical. That could be physical, but this is tanzhong acupoint. Tanzhong is an important area because the chi comes down the front, it goes up the back, down the front, the wheel of life. Small heaven circle, whatever you want to call it, micro, macro, all these words. This is irrelevant. We're sitting here now, chi goes up the back and down the front. And that means you've got a pulse. So you need a method to make sure it doesn't come up and get stuck in the brain. Because the saying goes, I won't say it in Cantonese, if the chi gets stuck in the brain, you become a sifu. It happened to me after 13 years, and I warned my students. I said, if you see me doing this, and saying this, you've got to tell me. And after 13 years, one of my students went, you remember that conversation years ago about you basically big headed and think you know everything and being a bit changed of character? That's you now. Whoa. And I didn't see it coming. Lucky, I don't mind listening to my students because they're good guys. He said, that's you now. Bosh, I can change. I changed straight away. So the saying is absolutely true. That's how it is.
Also not good for your health, I would think, to have. That's not the place to store.
Of course not, because that if the chi's not finishing its cycle, it's then delayed. The cycle delays, which is your metabolism, your chi metabolism.
Does the term Shangren have any relevance to you? I think it translates
It's a Chinese term, yeah.
universal human.
Mandarin. So it's a term, yeah.
Okay. Next question. Thank you very much. Neo-Confucian base, and I would say the speaker was good at kind of the razzle dazzle, use the Chinese words, and talk about history and knowing
Yeah.
culture better than anyone could.
Yeah.
But he talked about Neo-Confucian base, about Tai Chi, both Bagua, because this person practiced Bagua, taught Bagua or whatever, and Tai Chi systems, both, he's saying, came from from Neo-Confucian systems. He talked later about the Tao. There's also Taoism came into being, but it wasn't a Taoist. I should say not into being. Taoism influenced Tai Chi, I think was his comment, but it was not really a Taoist art, or is not a Taoist art. So
who cares? So who cares? They're just too many words, and I have one thing in my mind, and that's Yeung Mali's instructions, which are from the father, translated into English, also with given in the original Cantonese. That's all I'm interested in.
Okay, so I won't ask the next question then.
There you go, try it.
Focus on character. The emphasis for cultivation was on rectifying character. This is the kind of going back to the traditional root of the art. This is, or at least the imperial system. Becoming a better person, using everyday life, relationships, health, struggle as the arena for mastery. The highest ideal, Shangren, is defined by knowing everything and focusing on love for humanity. Over to you.
Wow.
Sounds
marvelous. Fantastic words. Okay. Does it make your form better? Does it make the qigong more internal? If it does, then do it. Otherwise, as I said, focus on the instructions given, because the instructions carry the seed and the power. The instructions are direct translations from the Chinese, and luckily I got the Chinese and Cantonese, by the way, and some words she would use the Mandarin. She has to be careful not to upset the Hong Kongis now. So you have to be a little bit careful. So she does use the word chi. Privately, it's hey. So there's other stuff. Yeah, you can do. You have the 7 negative emotions. They've got all that stuff. It's all in my notes. But I only do what affects my chi positively, and that's my outward appearance of training. The internal first.
Yeah, I was going to say the video image of you doesn't do you justice, right? I mean, when you're in the room with Jim, his eyes sparkle, right? You can't get the sparkle from a video image, but you can see he's got something.
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
It shines. We certainly pick up on it.
I'm not a problem.
I like to say it's like sitting next to a battery. It's nice. It's very nice. It's kind of restorative. One of the reasons I go to train with Jim, other than the information, is I feel restored afterwards. So anyway, I know you're a modest guy, and you will. But perhaps that's a good point to end. That's it, basically. If you've covered, I think, the main topics.
Right.
Thanks so much for the time. And
Yeah, thanks for your time to set it all up, Kevin, and your patience with this newfangled.
we'll cut all that out.